Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Pony. During the last part, I completed Dr. Discord Fortress stages 1 through 3, so continuing directly off of there, we're through Discord Fortress stage number 4. So for the first 3 screens, we'll be facing all these Candy Tellies, Pony Joes, and Spines. Really, this is just a teaser for what the full stage will be soon enough. Well, just a short intro basically. And if you were more skilled, you could just immediately equip the Sonic Rainboom over here and dash to the right, and immediately collect this life, or extra life, without having to deal with this Pony Joe. And down over here is the requisite Hatch Roadmaster rematch stage. Yep, it's present in most Mega Man games and fan games, so of course it's here. And in the background is a repurposed background element, retextualized to say Dr. Discord Super Chaos Funhouse. As usual, I'll be using Roadmaster weaknesses from here on out. At least for each of the Bearer of Harmony rematches. First up is Magic Mare, who wins the reward for being the Pony Master most trivialized by the weakness, which is the Stare. Unfortunately, I can only use the Stare 4 times, but if you have a weapon tank, you can basically just use 6 of them and prevent Twilight Sparkle from using any attack at all. It's quite hilarious. Too bad the Stare doesn't deal enough damage to just one clipper, or one magazine her. Next up is Kind Mare, who's weak against the party cannon. And actually the party balloons which fire can actually just completely neutralize each of her attacks. It can neutralize all the bunnies, as well as the flying squirrel, so they will prove to be no nuisance at all. And each of the Roadmaster weaknesses, or rather Bearer of Harmony weaknesses, makes sense, well at least 5 out of 6 of them. Because the Stare disrupts the Twilight Sparkle or Magic Mare's concentration so she can't cast magical spells. Fluttershy, aka Kind Mare, is sensitive to loud noises, which the popping balloons cause. Rarity or Generous Mare doesn't really like dirt as much, so the dirty apples would just pierce right through her shield and do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, this is the most awkward special weapon weakness to use, because having to kick the apple bucker apples forward uses the double weapon energy, and I'd rather just throw it forwards. Next up is Honest Mare, who's weak against the Magic Wave, which I didn't mention before, but the reason why it's easier to fight her with the Magic Wave is because of the wave pattern, it'll just go above her and hit her in the head, so you don't need to aim as much. Not to mention that Applejack, aka Honest Mare, doesn't really like, or isn't really that used to using magical items, so he's kind of weak against that. Next up is Loyal Mare, who I strongly suggest you don't use her weakness in the first phase. I'd rather just use her normal Buster Shots or Charge Shot especially, as if you use the Gem Seeker, it'll force her to use a more complicated pattern, which makes it a lot more challenging to dodge. Only do it once he moves into her second phase. Like here, then you should use the Gem Seeker. Because otherwise she'll then spin around and do a lot more crazy maneuvers. Really, she's the Roadmaster whose weakness she's the most well-suited against, basically. Next up, finally, is Laugh Mare, who I fight quite soppily. You're basically supposed to run into her, close into her, and then do the dash ability. I believe you can almost one-clip her, but I did it poorly, so you didn't really see that. Also, another annoying thing I didn't really mention in the previous parts is that, unlike most Mega Man games where if you hover over an item, I mean a special weapon, and press the start button, where then select the weapon, here you need to press the jump button. Otherwise, it will not activate, it'll just shift back to your original weapon that you had. In order to select a new item or weapon, you need to press the A button, not start. Here I'm using the Spike Call, which is a super-powered version of Eddie, actually. Instead of just dropping one item, Spike will warp in and drop 4 items, and all those 4 items are guaranteed to be good, or large power-ups, I believe. I decided to use 2 of them because I didn't want to use any of my EM, or I didn't want to use any of my EW or S tanks. Well, while it's a slight mistake, Spike won't necessarily always drop those small items, but regardless he'll always drop something of use, unlike Eddie who may not always do it. Anyway, here's the Discord tank. It's actually quite easier compared to, for example, the Wily Machine from Dr. Wily's Final Attack, although there are some misleading things. For the first one, the giant tank will move backwards and forwards and fire these rotating orbs. You can actually just stand on the left side of the screen and just jump over them without moving. That's one flaw of the fight, because you can actually just stay always on the left side of this room and avoid getting hit all the time. Or you don't need to move backwards and forward, just time your jumps correctly. Something else is that Dr. Discord's both of the forms of his tank, they don't actually have invulnerability frames, but it has double the health bar. So instead of 28 points of health, it's 56 points of health. Now I do wish that the game actually showed 2 bars instead of 1, because if you use single shots, sometimes you'll notice that he won't take any damage, and other times you'll see he takes a lot more damage than usual. And the second phase is actually easier than the first phase. Because here you don't need to worry about timing or dodging the curved bullets or curved projectiles like I have to. Just stand on the left and time your jumps so that these projectiles move above you and under you. Just make sure not to jump too early because he'll then fire his next shot a little bit too high up so you can't jump over it or duck under it. Rinse and repeat, and Discord has been defeated. Well, I guess this is the end of Mega Pony. Dr. Discord has been defeated and he's begging just like Dr. Wily does. So, of course, we have the ending theme based directly off of Mega Man 2. Classic. But oh wait, what's this? Chocolate Rain? I don't remember it raining like this in the original game. Mega Pony stops and boom, the ending screen just blows up. Discord is a chaotic being after all. He won't necessarily play by the rules and go by the normal ending. And when I first read his statement, I thought that Dr. Discord actually went to the Mega Man universe and requested Dr. Wily's help for building all of these Pony Master rematches. But nope, apparently Dr. Discord built it himself for fun. Anyways, we're on to the actual final stage of the game. Dr. Discord stage number 5. And it's here where Discord decides to break a lot of the rules for Mega Man level design. Yep. So, Dr. Discord stage number 5 is reminiscent of the final Dr. Wily stage in Mega Man 2, where we don't have any music, but this one's a lot more crazy and chaotic. It's befitting of Discord's nature, after all, as a chaotic Draconicus. So we have a really corrupted stage with a lot of different elements, like invisible walls, platforms, all this text, and all these projectiles. You can't avoid getting hit, but you won't take any damage from these elements. And by the way, I believe that extra life is actually real, even though it's flashing everywhere. In this chaotic stage, you'll see elements from almost all of the stages, actually. Just placed in a very crazy fashion. I mean, here we have all these crazy matools which explode just like mini-bosses. And there is one reference which I'll point out soon enough. Here's another one. You normally have to go up, but nope, you have to slide down and then it can go upwards. And we have the Mega Pony title screen in the top left as well. Yeah, when I first saw this, I was quite taken aback. I would like to see if another game could actually create a full Roadmaster stage out of this, like Chaos Man, or Crazy Man, or Confusion Man. That would be interesting. Here's a screen with a lot of glitched matools. I'd like to just use the Sonic Rainboom because it'll pierce right through their shields and you get a lot of explosions at once. Thankfully, nothing deals damage here, so you don't need to worry. Also, as you may notice, yeah, there's an invisible teleport over there. We have fans over here for some reason. And we have a reference to one of the things back in the Season 3 opener, GAC, as you see from the GAC backslash. And maybe the bottom text. I'm not sure how much more of the text is a reference, but I know GAC is a reference to something. Well, that's the end of the glitch environment. After here, we're facing the final encounter against Discord. And here, the door opening slowly is fine for me. So here we have Dr. Discord mimicking Sigma. He's definitely harder than the last battle. He first starts by firing all of these 4 orbs in differing patterns. It's kind of similar to the Yellow Devil or Devil Fights. He does this 3 times and jumps to the other side of the room. Now, there's actually a certain exploit with this fight which makes it a lot easier. You can actually just walk to the other side of the room behind where he jumps, and then you have free reign to shoot him over and over, just like here. As you can see here, I don't need to worry about getting hit by any of these things. But once he gets damaged enough, he'll start firing that last set of orbs, where when he jumps, he'll fire those 3 orb bombs at the bottom, which then split off into that other pattern. That's really hard to dodge, and I've never really been able to do it. It is possible looking at perfect runs though. It's just my lack of skill that's the problem. As I was saying, you can get behind Discord either by waiting for him to jump, or by using the Sonic Rainboom to just pierce right through him in the back. Just be careful as there's less space on the left than compared to the right. Another nice trick about this boss is that you can use the Gem Seeker to block all of those shots, or at least absorb all of these orbs. This is especially useful when he does that jumping orb bomb attack. But rinse and repeat this pattern and it'll be defeated. And thankfully he only has 28 points of health, so he's not much of a problem in that regard. So we've stunned Discord, we're summoning all 6 Bearers of Harmony once again. After all, we reharmonized them. They're summoning the elements of Harmony, charging up all their Harmony energy, channeling it into Mega Pony, and we're using it to fire an ultimate Friendship Buster charge shot. So this Rainbow Beam is fired up, and Discord has been turned right back into stone, just like in the Season 2 opener. And this officially marks the end of the main game of Mega Pony. Discord has been turning to stone, and he can no longer use his chaotic powers to get out of this and create another stage for us. And it's signaled by this by the Mega Man 2 final victory sound. Discord has finally been defeated by the power of friendship and peace, returns to Equestria once again. However, the never-ending battle continues until all chaotic forces are defeated. Just like Mega Man 1. Fight, Mega Pony, for everlasting harmony, also like Mega Man 1. Although, I wouldn't say by the power of friendship, unless defeat means friendship. After all, we beat up all members of the main 6. And this marks the ending team, and this is the ending sequence where Mega Pony runs through several environments. And I would honestly say that this ending theme is my favorite musical track in the entire game. Mainly because it's not remixing any theme from the Mega Man series, it's just a straight up remix, 8-bit remix of A True True Friend from the Season 3 finale. So we're seeing all of the World Masters, aka Bearers of Harmony. First we had Magic Mare, or Twilight Sparkle, and we're running through the outskirts of Canterlot, I believe. For Fluttershy, we're running outside of the forest. For 5 out of 6 of these Pony Masters, we're running through, or at least 4 out of 6, we're running through their respective stages after they appear. I'll give my final thoughts on Mega Pony as a whole in the extras, or the next and final part, because there are a few other things I want to cover about this game. The game isn't completely done after all, only the main game. And interestingly enough, the way that this is organized, as you see by the MLP dot numbers, they're ordered by the order they're officially introduced in the first season opener of the show. That's why we had Twilight Sparkle as MLP.001 and Generous Mare as MLP.004 because she was introduced to 4th officially. Also, we never had an ice stage. Rarity stage took place in a mine. This is rather inaccurate actually. And as usual, actually for this part I will leave a link to the final theme for the ending. It's my favorite track after all, and I would like you all to listen to it. Also, something else of a note I didn't mention is that I do appreciate how more creative each of the World Master intros in the World Master selected part are. Because usually it's just World Master warps in, and does their pose, and so on. But here we have some of the World Masters or Pony Masters, like Rainbow Dash, who just flies out of the screen, and Laugh Mare, who just appears from behind like here and jumps in, breaking the 4th wall. I do appreciate the more variety in that regard. And at the ending part, we have Mega Pony and all of the main 6 returning. And thank you, Khao, for making this title as well. And yes, I realized it was made in GM8 once I got a crash during the refight against Loyal Mare. And we end in the screen with the rest of the cast, including Spike, the CMC, as well as the 2 princesses, although Luna wasn't mentioned earlier until now. So officially, I cleared the game in 1 hour and 20 minutes. although counting practice runs and failed attempts is more like 3 to 4 hours. And we have unlocked the extras menu. So that's the end of the main game. In the next part, as I've been saying, I'll be covering the extras and giving my final thoughts on Mega Pony as a whole. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!